Hello there, my name's Aaron Phelan and I'm the manager of NGU Home Lettings, and this video is to be the first of a series of videos offering advice to investors in regards to renting out their properties. Now first off, I would just like to give a brief explanation of NGU Home Lettings and kind of where we've come from. Now we are a sister part of the NGU group, and effectively the whole reason why we started NGU Home Lettings was due to previously having bad experiences with letting out our own properties and not really being provided with the service levels that we required. Effectively, we thought we could do it better and raise standards and expectations and service clients with effectively a better standard of letting service. Now firstly, this first video, what I want to do is basically set out 4 key questions that I feel an investor or a landlord should be looking for when renting out their property. Now the first question would be, does your agent act with urgency in mind? How quickly do they act in regards to getting your property rented? The reason behind this is we feel that urgency is key, central to everything that we do when getting a property rented. We understand that to an investor, every single day costs and every day counts. Effectively, if there's a mortgage to be paid on a property, then every day does count. And then because of this, everything that we do is geared towards getting a property rented as quickly as possible. And this relates to, on day 1 of completion, we order a to let board at that very same day. As soon as we get access to a property, the property will be put up onto Rightmove and Gumtree that very same day. It will be put up onto our website again that very same day. Additional things that we would use would be local newspapers, councils, waiting tenants, etc. Everything that we do is geared towards getting a property rented out as soon as possible. So that's a key question that you need to ask as a landlord in regards to your current agent. How fast do they act? Do they act with urgency in mind in regards to getting your property rented? Now the second question would be, how does your agent source tenants? What do they do? What checks do they do? What credit/vetting procedures do they have in place? From our past experience, we have found that if you find the wrong tenant, it effectively leads to big problems later down the line. It is so important to find the right tenant, and the only way to find the right tenant is to effectively do thorough checks when vetting a person. Now what we have found, what works well in regards to finding that right tenant, initially you need to be doing a credit check. You need to be checking out that person's past credit history to find out if there is any issues with bad credit. Now if a tenant may require a guarantor, that guarantor also needs to be credit checked to make sure again that they have no issues with previous bad credit. In regards to landlord references, we feel that it's best to go back as far as possible in regards to landlord references. Rather than it just being a current property, a landlord reference needs to go back as far as possible. So does your agent go back as far as possible in regards to a potential tenant's previous rental history? Do they ask questions, typical questions such as, were there any arrears at the property? Was the property maintained to a good standard? Would you rehouse this person? Was there any antisocial behaviour? All these typical questions that effectively give you a good indication of what that person will be like. If they've previously looked after a previous property, it's more than likely that they will look after your property in exactly the same manner. Now, most agents will do a credit check and possibly landlord references. One thing that we found which is imperative, which nobody else does, is a home visit. Now here at NGU Home Lettings, we actually go and visit all prospective tenants in their current properties before giving it the final go-ahead in regards to a move-in. And the reason behind doing that is we get to see that tenant in their own current environment, and it speaks volume. And there has been examples in the past where we have a successful credit check in place, we'll have successful positive landlord references, and then we'll get to a house to do a home visit, and the house will be a mess, it won't be clean, it won't be tidy, and you get that feeling that something's not quite right. So sometimes it is quite hard to judge people face to face, but that's why we do the home visit. Over the phone, you could be speaking to someone that comes across extremely nice, extremely polite, well-mannered, ticks all the right boxes, but you don't get to see them in their proper current environment over the phone. So that's why we do a home visit. Does your your current agent, do they do this? Do they look at the tenant in depth and tick all these different boxes? The next question that I would say is important to ask is, how does your agent correspond with yourself? What correspondence as a landlord do you get from your current agent? We feel it's extremely important for an agent to correspond well with a landlord. And what we've put in place in regards to this is regular correspondence after viewings. Even if it's 8 o'clock on a night, if you as an investor are happy for us to give you a call and let you know how a viewing has gone, we are happy to do that. We always give regular correspondence after viewings to give you updates so that you know what's going on every step along the way. Aside from this, we actually send an in-depth email every week to investors. It's something that we've not seen anybody else do, and effectively it's an in-depth personalised account of what we are doing to get your property rented. Does your current agent provide this correspondence? Without it, effectively you don't know what is going on and what they are doing to get your property rented. And then the last thing would be in regards to aftercare. What does your agent do afterwards, after they've secured you a tenant? What service do they provide following through from that? Do you still get regular correspondence in regards to your tenants? Do you get regular updates in regards to your rental account? Does your tenant get looked after through a efficient maintenance policy? Again, the aftercare of a tenant is essential to a tenant staying long term in a property. If your tenant is happy and looked after, they are more likely to stay long term, and that is a continued rental income. Now, what we have implied at NGU Home Lettings, in regards to the maintenance issue, we've employed a 24-hour maintenance policy to service the needs of tenants and effectively keep them happy. If there is something that goes wrong in regards to remedial jobs, we have a 24-hour policy in place to get things actioned for the tenants and get jobs done. In regards to correspondence with the tenant and keeping you up to date with your rental account, we give regular emails which is a full breakdown of your rental account, so that again you understand every step along the way how things are going with your rental account and where you stand with your income as a landlord. I feel that all these questions are key questions that you should be asking to your current agent or a potential agent, as they all are important in getting your property rented. Thank you.